You want to use this one?
Are we going to do this one? Yeah. We've been having some issues, but
just a little bit of issues.
I think we finally got it.
Yeah, so we're back, everyone. We're back.
Hi.
And I'm Daniel.
And I'm Julia.
And here we are in Aberdeen Art Gallery.
Aberdeen was going to be a quick one-off video, but you know, this art gallery is really cool.
It really is, and we felt really bad about skipping it.
They had quite a bit of kind of a modern-y kind of a feel to it, actually, more than a classic art gallery. But
first,
anyway,
money.
Literally
Literally
money.
So in the UK, certain places, including Scotland, print their own money. It is worth £1 or 5 or 10 in these cases, but it does not have a certain person on the money that you might have expected. That's the king/queen from days. No, they don't care about that.
No.
Not in Scotland. Scotland's not a big fan of the royal family.
The front, you have a couple of ladies there, and on the reverse side, you have cute little animals.
I'm going to be nerdy and say obverse and reverse.
Whatever.
Nobody cares. But anyway, these are cool historical people, and you can look it up. I would show you what the bigger bills look like, but we were cheap and poor.
Yeah.
So we don't have examples of those.
We really don't. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on to the actual art gallery.
Aberdeen Art Gallery is free. Just wanted to put it out there.
Right, we said money, but that wasn't like how to get in.
This is a free gallery. And apparently there was a strange creature that was following me around the lobby.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And I didn't realize it until there we go. I had basically walked the entire lobby.
And I'm like taking pictures of her. By the way, isn't this cute? This is a couple that are like hugging.
Yeah, that's really cute. And really quick, I got this scarf here in Scotland. I got it at like
Royal Mile.
That was Royal Mile, Edinburgh, and importantly, it wasn't a chain place. It was a local shop, and they get their things actually from
made in Scotland.
A lot of the shops on the Royal
Mile are now owned by corporations.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name might make it feel like it's local.
They'll say things like 100% Scottish or something like that, but it's not actually made
inspired by Scottish patterns, and we saw the same thing in Ireland. Oops.
So, yeah. Anyway, as we know, we like ceilings and all that, so this was a really cool ceiling that they had.
If we go to an art gallery or museum, the first thing we do is we go to the top.
We go to the top floor.
It's rule number 1 here.
We start from the top and we go to the bottom. So they had a really cool outside veranda, which we will show at the end.
Right, it'll be a good arc.
Yeah, but this is kind of what it really looks like.
You can see down a little bit. Mm-hmm. These columns at the very bottom are the top of the room that we were just in. Yeah. But there's also like a cafe with people who don't want their picture taken. Yeah. And this is also where they do, like, special events can be up here, so it's closed gallery. And, all right.
Moving on. So, like we said, kind of a...
more
of a modern art museum.
And I like me some modern art.
So,
this was kind of the chronology of the museum itself. And they... No, after you.
Well, I mean, we always like to talk about how user-friendly places are, and even though it is a modern art museum, they still had a lot of things for kids to touch and feel, and so they can kind of understand art a little better.
They wanted to talk, and I think this was the exhibit that was talking about the museum and how things are chosen for the museum, like the stones outside, the pillars, and so they're showing the different types of marbles and quartzes and other stones that were used in the construction.
So, really, really interesting. So, this was a guy who, John Forbes White, was a miller, actually. And he basically wanted a place for local Scots to display their artwork. And that's how we started with this gallery. Right, so this is
part of the history. It was in that other... Mm-hmm. But we were zooming in.
History of the museum itself.
Right, if a museum's old enough... And what's interesting is a lot of... So this is the same thing. We're just showing a picture of the book.
The ideas and stuff. So this was an interesting little message right before you get into like the main hallway, as you can see through the door there. There will be no miracles here. The idea is art is a part of all of us, and so it's not necessarily a miracle.
Keep
It's
sliding
something.
out of frame.
It's something we create. So that's kind of a cool
Well,
little take.
and also because it's kind of reflecting our lives, there will be no miracles here, and suggesting if something great is going to happen, it's because we are going to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
So just a lot of random stuff.
I really think that ceiling's pretty.
That ceiling was crazy interesting.
It's hard to grab it with a photo.
Yeah.
It doesn't move, so just to be clear about that, there is plexiglass. That's why we're getting kind of a glare in some of them.
Yeah.
But each individual tiny tile is a different shape, and it reflects the light in kind of an opalescence. Is that fair?
Yeah, yeah. The whole room,
It
and like I said, you
is-
can't really capture it with a picture, but the whole room felt very,
Ethereal.
yeah, kind of like we had stepped into heaven, I guess.
So this is really kind of a fun
This
one.
was my
This
favorite
is one
piece.
of your favorites?
This was my favorite piece.
Well, then-
Well, it's just very simple. It's the stream, and it really does look like a body of water when you look
Yeah,
at
you
it
can see it
abstractly.
bubbling.
Yeah, so really cool. Information, crafting.
So now
color.
we're talking about
Yeah.
because they wanted to tell us about the process of creating art as much as doesn't that look cool? As much as the art as object itself.
Showcasing the art.
So on the right we have different objects that had different kind of glazes, and then we have this kind of chart of the colors and how they turn into different glaze colors, because this was mostly ceramics. This was in the ceramics.
This was in the ceramic. Yeah.
on one of the walls.
So primary colors and just.
Even thinking about it that way, we wouldn't have normally seen these next to each other because of the color range. You can see a color wheel in the background. All right, shall we?
Yeah, keep going.
Sorry.
This was just cool. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was or what it was supposed to represent. I can't quite remember because I didn't take a
There's a
picture
lot.
of the label.
There's a lot of stuff.
But it's just kind of cool, and it was just kind of
Beautiful.
hanging in the middle there. It's actually really big.
Yeah, that's... Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually a really huge thing. I don't have anything to scale. That was kind of all I had, and all I remember was gigantic.
I mean, it's... If you're putting a cell phone next to it... No, that's not going to be useful. Never mind.
It's bigger
It's
than
big.
a laptop.
Yeah, there.
It's bigger than
okay?
a laptop.
If you're picturing me standing next to it, calm down.
Yeah.
It's not person-sized huge. I know galleries can get weird, but it's laptop size. It's decent sized.
So,
So now we're kind of doing shades of gray.
color.
That's fun. Look at the picture on the right. Ah, that's it back there.
Yeah.
On the left picture, because we just okay. Well, I
Yeah.
got excited about
Well,
it. I like when we shoot through
it
things.
was a little slapdash there because everything was kind of taken out of order.
No, I'm not saying that. I just think that it's really cute that, like, whenever there's exhibits that we are like, oh, look, you can see the other picture from this picture because it's all wide open.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut up.
Okay, keep going. Again, things for kids to kind of touch and feel, and so they can kind of grasp what these materials, metals feel like.
Right. Metals, potteries, glazes, they had a lot of these throughout the museum. And if you can't touch the real object because expensive and breakable, they would have things like this kids could touch. And adults, for the record, I touched them.
Yeah, this was just another piece that I really liked.
Very pretty.
It was basically these things are also big. So I would say
Meter?
I mean
3 feet?
it was taller than me when it was mounted on the wall.
Yeah, but it's not going all the way to the floor.
It's
either.
not going all the way to the floor. So this was all I believe hand bent.
Yes.
So it's a large thing. It's not a small thing like this. It's a large
No.
thing
you
on the
can
wall.
see kind of the size.
Yeah, and that's not the explanation. That's the one before.
That's
but
this
this
one.
is the next exhibit that
Wanna
was
talk
really
about
cool.
this one?
Yeah, well, you talk about this one. This is one you liked.
These are just different thoughts that had to do with what we were thinking about during COVID. Not going to read them because they're very small on my screen and very big on yours. But it was about hopes and thoughts about when the future felt tenuous. You know, history starts the moment something happens. It goes from journalism to history. And so we're responding to something very immediate. All right.
This was just a close-up because...
Glass is awesome.
I really like that papaya.
She was hungry.
More regular vases, different kinds of glassware that... practical glassware that you can use to eat on a meal or with a meal or whatever. But there was...
Just kind of flipping through.
Just really... Fine? Just interesting objects throughout.
So it's been a few months since we were there, but if you're wondering why there's so many romantic-y things, like the one on the left... it was around Valentine's.
It was around Valentine's.
I mean, it wasn't Valentine's Day. It was still January.
Yeah, but it was nearing the end.
Nearing the end, yeah. And exhibits take a while to set up. But they're referencing Valentine's Day is coming.
Yeah. Aww, so we really like that. So this is the image this is what you see when you're on the roof.
Right. Remember we were on the roof and we're like, we'll tell you when it gets to the end. Okay. So this is one of the last slides we're going to get for all of Aberdeen. Aberdeen was one of the larger, but not large cities in Scotland. And so last video, we talked about this place. But now we're from a different angle. So I'm going to kind of point out where things were. This is His Majesty's Theatre right here. This is the part that says like Bon Accord right around here.
This is the park that has the cool globe metal thing.
And I took a picture this direction. But if you look at this little statue, there's this giant pedestal and there's this guy. That's William Wallace.
That's the William Wallace
who's
statue.
Who's pointing over here and being like, this guy.
Yeah, so if you saw the first Aberdeen video, then this is just completely different angle.
You should.
Yeah, so you can kind of see what we're talking about.
But
what a view. Look at that view.
Absolutely.
This was on their
beautiful place.
Rooftop.
And highly recommend.
One last...
So this is different angle. We're still hanging out up top. But there's some art up there.
They had more than one as well. So they actually had outdoor art by local artists.
It was not warm.
No.
But I don't know if that needs to be said when you're north of Edinburgh and you're in Scotland and it's still January. It was not summer.
No. It was cold.
It was cold.
It was really
cold.
So
I think this is going to wrap up this video and wrap up one of my favorite cities.
Aberdeen was wonderful.
Aberdeen was wonderful.
But until next time.
Onward and outwards. Yeah. Yes. Till next time.